You know, when you've been at a place long enough, you get to know people, and you get to know their giftings, and you get to know who they are. You don't just look at their skin color or perhaps where they came from, but you see their character, you see their heart. And when you make music together, there's something incredible that happens. This whole concept of symphony that just almost descends in the room. My voice, for example, is very different than one of our colleagues and one of our volunteers, Denitra. What she brings to the table is this incredible, rich, powerful voice that has been honed and shaped by her experience, that is completely different from mine. But then what I bring to the table is something that is different from hers. But each of us by ourselves are good in our own right, perhaps. But when we come together, when I put my voice with hers, when she puts her voice with mine, when we put our voice with other people, the most amazing thing happens. And you don't think about any of that. You think about what you're saying, and you think about what you're singing, and you think about the heart that you're bringing to the song and what you're trying to communicate, and the fact that we get to do this together. I mean, I'm so grateful that I live in a place that I can share what I love to do with other people, and they have the same giftings and they have the same passions that I do. And there has been many times being in the studio, or perhaps even in this last season in COVID, where we have been together and we have done just that. You know, we have sang together. We've had the opportunity to be together and to again share our gifts and what we bring to the table, and to have this wonderful melting pot of where all of those different things come together. And it's incredible. It reminds me of the upper room. And when Jesus said that the disciples were in one accord, what does that mean? They were all different people. They all came from different backgrounds. You know, Peter was not like, he was very different from his other disciples. You know, he had a very strong personality. But when they were in that place, they had one common goal, and that was worship around the Master. And so for us, when we worship, whether that's in the studio or in our homes together, or perhaps even in church when we're on stage, and when you see us singing on stage, I promise you we're not thinking about any of that, even though it is those experiences, it is those things that make us different, that makes it special. But when we put them together, it becomes something unique, and it becomes something that we don't even own anymore. You know, Zephaniah 3:17 says that he rejoices over us with singing, and when we give that to him as an offering, all of a sudden he takes that and he makes it his own. And it's not even ours anymore. And we don't think about color, and we don't think about sex, and we don't think about that. We just simply think about worship. And we think about the message, and we become in sync. And when we sing lyrics like, "Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee," how great that art. All of a sudden, we're taking the focus off of us and perhaps our differences, and we're finding that common ground, and we're looking up. And all of a sudden, now our attention becomes vertical. And so I think that's a little bit of what the world needs.